Okay, welcome guys. I'm just waiting for more people to join the live, then we can carry on and win together, guys. Guys, we analyzed BTPP. I mean, this Bitcoin USD and price is doing so well. Just showed up from nowhere. This is good. I'm just waiting for more people to join the live so we can carry on, guys. We don't have to go backwards. So we've got 10 people in the house. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Just comment in the section if you are trading gold. We're going to be looking at several pairs, both Forex and synthetics. I'll start with Bitcoin, then we'll do gold. Yeah, guys, this is beautiful. I'm on 2 hours time frame. I've given a signal on this. We gave a signal Bitcoin. There is a signal, guys. Beautiful signal. The price just showed up. Okay. We 10 members, guys. Let's let this out. I can begin when we're about maybe 20. Low key. Gold. Let's look at gold. Let me go to 2 hours still. I don't know if gold has reacted already, but we are projecting bearish on gold from yesterday. Yesterday's session, we had projected bearish, and prices are slowly going into our direction. So tell me, guys, what you are trading or what you want me to start with. I've got Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin to begin with. I've got gold and a few of the synthetics. And perhaps we can look at GBP as well. GBP is failing. We projected a buy, but I think it's got momentum to the downside. We'll study why it's going to the downside. But beautiful results from from Bitcoin. Beautiful result from Bitcoin. Guys, just have a few people joining us on the before we proceed with 8 people, 13, 20 people we start. And let me see the comments. It did not go according to our analysis, but we will study it and see what's happening there. VIX 25, please. All right, we're gonna do VIX. Guys, let's just push the numbers up. I can see numbers are going 13 up and then 8 again. GBP, what's going on GBP? GBP. I was expecting GBP to turn around somewhere, sweep liquidity and close above and 10 here. Bitcoin is crazy now. Bitcoin, this was such a great setup. Okay, guys, let me see the numbers. 8, 12. I'm very grateful for your time. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome, bro. Super profit on Bitcoin. That's one. We're doing so good on Bitcoin. Okay, 18, I think 18, 20 we're going. Okay, I think we can proceed, guys. Let's look at how we did on Bitcoin. I'm interested in Bitcoin so far. Bitcoin, we have to go back to, let's see, a Fairly weekly planning. Guys, for Bitcoin, weekly planning gives us a better view in terms of how far Bitcoin or where Bitcoin has started from and to where it is now. So what you do is, first of all, you have to go back to establishing trend. The overall trend we have is bullish. We have a bullish trend, beautiful bullish trend. Okay. Let's make it a little bit thicker. Yeah, there we go. For the beautiful bullish trend. So what you do is you have to mark out your support and resistance. So I'll go for the most outstanding support or resistance here. Because it has been challenged to new highs, we can fairly firmly confirm this is a break of market structure. Break of market structure. So our resistance always goes with support and resistance. That's our lowest support resistance. And this area is called the demand. Demand. So below demand is where you find buyers. So there are buyers from that place to here. There was buyers. So the banks and the institutions, they will have to identify the positions of the retail traders. Once they discover where the retail traders are, they're able to position themselves in the market. So therefore, the banks and institutions cannot trade the market before they see where we are trading from. So once we are here, then they know how much volume in the fake out they have to pump to neutralize previous the retail traders at this point. That's why this type of move is called, it's a tactic the banks use. It's called the sell side liquidity. So institution traders and banks use the sell side liquidity to manipulate price to make it look like it's bearish when it's bullish. Price neutralizes liquidity. Okay, I'll just highlight this level. This is what you call stop loss hunt. This is what you call stop loss hunt. So the aim is to wait for price, neutralize the stop, and close up, then pull back to 61%. This is where you take the buy. This is where the buy begins, all the way up. And that is the entry criteria that you need to use. Of course, you need to introduce the Fibonacci to give you the point of entry there. Price pushes up to the upside and challenges that high to a new high. So we have got, okay, we'll call this high. We'll call this as a high. And this level at the bottom is a lower, is a higher low. Obviously, I think this qualifies to be a higher low because we have got a particular level there that was broken as a market structure. So that is a higher low. Another higher low, this does not qualify to be higher low because it has not broken any of the major highs. That is another higher low. Price gave us the higher high before giving us the higher low. We have got also, I think we had also the intermediate trend. Intermediate trend line there. I'll make this dotted so it doesn't interfere with our major plan. So we've got, guys, an intermediate trend of which you need also to establish the break-off structures for Bitcoin. Break-off market structure, intermediate break-off market structure. So we're first working out the higher time frame before we go to the lower time frame. That's how you arrive at that's how we had to buy Bitcoin now, because we have to go to the lower time frame to understand our movement in the lower time frame for interest. That's an intermediate demand, but I'll call it equal low. Equal low. This is what happens on the next high. So even here, we look for the previous low close to the trend line. This one, sweep of liquidity close above. That's how we bought. And we've got another break of market structure, most likely to be called the previous high, but let's call it a break of market structure for now. Then we will call this as a previous high. And knowing that price is close to the trend line, we can simply say price swept liquidity above that high and drop to close below. That's how the sell was generated. Then price started breaking the lower lows, breaking the lower lows. More sales were created because of that. After price breaks that low to resume in a correction, the first high of the correction becomes your supply level for the intermediate bearish trend. Intermediate bearish trend. Yeah, until we can see price touching the trend, giving us a new last lower high, and then price drops to give us a lower low. I mean higher low in the lower in the intermediate trend, and then price pushes up to break and challenge that previous high, lower high. That is what signals the change in the direction of price. Okay, so this is Bitcoin in a nutshell in a higher time frame, and for this bullish movement, you could actually use that low for liquidity. That's how I know that price is basically bullish, because it's above that line, so we definitely have to go up. Demand. Demand. So price closing above demand. So the possibility are that price can at some stage maybe come back and then pull back to the upside again. But we will understand that depending on the build up in the intermediate trend. That's just to check the questions. So now the aim is for us to try and understand this build up here. Let's try and understand the build up here. I'll go to the lower time frame and maybe this is a similar situation that I've broken the way I've broken down the other side. Okay, let's go to 2 hours. Okay, let me start, guys, from here. Okay, this situation here is part of the bearish trend. Okay, this movement, all this action here is part of the bearish trend. Hence, the new trend starts from this point upwards. That's why I highlighted that point. That point was an obvious buy, and that's why we find ourselves in a situation where prices bought extensively. We had this yesterday. I think price was almost in this level here. We discussed the same thing when I did the live, and this afternoon I checked it. It was quite here, and we just had to give the signal, and that's why I bought from now this morning, this afternoon. We've got a very beautiful impulse there. But to explain it all, it's the same sequence because price is a matter of patterns. Price is built out of patterns. So it's important to always look left to understand the right. So you can see when price broke the trend line of this bearish trend, it had just to retest it, push up to break that structure, give us the lows in the form of demand, and we took the buys. Again, same thing, sweep of liquidity, close above, buy, sweep of liquidity, close above, buy, sweep of liquidity below this level, which this is basically the induced level here. So price swept liquidity by testing the previous low and closed above this level to buy, and that's how we found ourselves in a nice buy. Of course, I'm targeting that previous high level for take profit. If you are looking for take profit, you go for that inner high to your either major low or that low there. So that could be your take profit. That could be your take profit, take profit, take profit. But I think price can push up to that level. But we can, when you've made enough profit at this level, you can close. All right, let's go to gold. Gold is a bit messy, guys, but let's go to 1 day. Gold, we analyzed it beautifully yesterday, looking at where it comes from and where we were currently to determine whether we should be buying or selling. 3 hours. Guys, don't mind the lines, it's just the trend lines and all that, but it's not a big deal. Okay, there we go. Gold, I said gold is going to sell yesterday, and guys, we are in a sell. If you locked in your sales, you should be in profit. Just that gold doesn't have momentum at the moment. I don't know why. But we need to have momentum that will help us break the previous low. Then we will create a new, this is what might happen. Breaking the low until the trend line, then price has to create another level of resistance. Then price breaks, sweeps liquidity below that, above that, and more sales until a particular area. This is something like this. I don't know if there's questions on gold, but otherwise I did most of the work here yesterday. So basically gold swept liquidity, closed below and dropped to break the structure, went up to the supply level, swept liquidity, dropped, went back to supply level and give us that distribution there and dropped. Again, gave us that supply level again, dropped, finally breaking the what you want to call the we've got the lower high. Lower high broken to a new higher high. To a new higher high level, which is also a previous high level. Price sweeps liquidity above that and closes below. Okay, sometimes it's fair enough to wait for price drop and come back, give a new correction. This is the perfect place to start selling from. But sometimes you can sell immediately after price closes below closes the candle below the previous high level. Price will drop to break the structure. So now I'm thinking, I believe price has to come and sweep liquidity. Has to break the structure there. In this case, if you're in this trade, you have to take stop loss below the entry to protect and be break even. And to break even. So let's go to, I think this is as much we can say on this one. So let's go to VIX. What are the suggestions? People are suggesting VIX 10. VIX 10S. I don't know if I've got fixed the next. Let's see. This is we talked about fixed 51S has been bullish, and we are seeing more bullish movements. Fixed 101S. I'm thinking it's going to consolidate. This guy can consolidate within this. I think this guy can consolidate within this and sweep liquidity and then drop. 51S or 101S. 101S, interesting. 101S. Okay, let me remove this. First of all, 101S, let me show you where it comes from. 1 month. Yeah, so 1 month is was a nice build up. We can see that price created liquidity levels. The spike below this level neutralized the liquidity and started closing above to buy. Price came back testing twice at same level and bought nicely. In that case, price creating break of market structures. After break of structure, price coming back to the lows, and this could have calculated as a low as well. Yeah, sweep liquidity below that low to the buy, breaking the structure. So I think price has to create new lows. That's why I'm doing that, to expect more an area like that where price should buy, because eventually price has to buy like that. Going weekly. This is what we start seeing now in a week's time. This is what we begin seeing. Price neutralize liquidity and neutralize liquidity. Therefore, a sniper entry close above, you can buy that. Now, in this case, I think this is not enough. I just assumed that this could be the low, but I don't think it is. So let's do this. We need to use Fibonacci to study the most possible low. So by using the Fibonacci, guys, let's see how far. We use the Fibonacci from that low to that high. Price was almost 61%, so we can say 61% because it's in between. So the new level where we should expect correction, from that low to the current high, we have to expect a low point from that area to 61%. Tap liquidity there. Most likely close below and more buys to break the structure. To break the structure. So we are expecting corrections to begin around this candle there or in this space there, which is makes sense because there's a bit of resistance there. A bit of resistance in this level. So this, we have to start observing this as a bearish movement to downside to this level, something similar to that. Daily now, let's check daily time frame. Now, with that in mind, this we are saying, we're doing what I was doing earlier. I'm trying to say, let's try and identify this as a bearish movement. And this starts to make sense because After break of this structure here, VIX 10-1S, after break of this market structure, price has given us that level there. Previous high, that becomes our supply. Previous high, sweep of liquidity close below sell. That's why price is selling. So let's go to 2 hours and see. VIX 10-1S, VIX 10-1S is now in currently selling because we've got this area here. As a supply. So what can happen is price can go break the lows. If you are lucky, price might come back to this level and continue distributing. This is our supply area. Or equal highs. So I'll leave it in 4 hours, guys, just for a clear picture. But I think if what can happen is price bounces off there to come back to the supply level for more supply. If it breaks there, we just have to wait for retest of this and push to the downside. Yeah, I don't know, guys. There's this type of trading where you have sometimes, if you want to consider fair value gaps, but that gets complicated into knowing what is not a fair value gap, what is a fair value gap. I feel like in this time frame, I think that was a fair value gap. Yeah, and that's how VIX 10-1S is selling. So let's look for another pair in the suggestion. Volatility 25. Volatility 25 is bearish. I'm trying to find a better place to sell it, but it seems it just stubborn, cannot go. So it's creating its own intermediate trend there. That's what it seems to be respecting. I keep wanting to come back to that level to try and establish the sale there. But price seems to resist that level. It keeps on dissolving within the intermediate trend. So we can, if you want to catch it, the sell, it's also trying to break off structure of that intermediate trend. Price comes back, gives you the highs, and you can start catching the sells there. But this is going to be a major sell. Let me show you in higher time frame. So I'm focusing for this price to go even this low. Sorry. To come even that low. For volatility 25. Yeah, so it's a correction. It could be maybe after reaching it can do that, but basically everything, the whole movement has to come touch this level here. It's just a matter of understanding how it's breaking down, so you can take opportunities or take an advantage of it. Let's see more 75 and VIX 100 1S. Yes, we see some more bearish pressure for VIX than 1S. So let's look at 75, guys. $75. $75 has been overall bearish. Break of structure, price giving us we had that highs. Break of structure. Now we are the break of structure there. Break of structure. I'll zoom it, guys, just to okay. Break of structure. Let's go to 4 hours. Okay, I want us guys to always remember this break of structure here. Break of market structure impulse. This obviously is a correction. That's why price has been behaving funny. Just that it's in a huge consolidation. But the previous high price sweeps liquidity started closing bid or sell. So here it's just a matter of price coming back to that resistance and selling it. But I think here it was when price had left liquidity on that upward distribution, upward movement here. We had a nice channel for the upward movement there. Price left liquidity there, wait for price to sweep liquidity, drops and comes and closes below that level. That was the sell time. You want to sell here, stop loss above. So what starts to happen, price breaks structure from that sell there, price breaks the structure. After break of market structure with an impulse, price makes a correction with a series of lows, highs. Above the highest, price sweeps liquidity above that high, drops and comes back to that level as a supply. And price drops, breaking the structure again. So breaking that structure, price leaves the, let's do this. Okay, price has broken structure. It left this high there, but we'll see what price is going to respect. Left hand high and plus we have got the order block here. So I'm thinking maybe price can come test the trend, touch the order block and continue downwards, but we'll see. But at the moment it's in a correction form because we have got a break of structure. Price is breaking structure there. For breaking structure there, it's an indication that price is still more to the downside. So let's see how price will react in this. If this fails, then we can obviously work it out that way. But we can definitely catch it either way. Because that level has got some stories, guys. That's why it's a strong level. But because price is breaking structure to the downside, we can rely more on the sells. 101S. I said it's relying more on, it's more on this consolidation. But if we go look at it in a higher time frame, let me see if we can manage 1 week. Yeah, 1 week price is in a bullish channel. It has already broken structure. So price is just in a corrective mode. Then it will impulse to the upside again. Okay, I don't know, guys. I think I have exhausted what I had to deal with. Can you go through VIX 51S? 51S, okay. 10-1S we've done. I took a buy on Bitcoin today using this strategy. Please review. Okay, we've done Bitcoin earlier. I think we started with Bitcoin. Definitely. Bitcoin is a big buy. I've gave a signal in the VIP. Bitcoin is massive. Let's look at that. Bitcoin is massive in a buy. For this guy, it's mainly bullish on 51S. Guys, you need, if you're not in my VIP one-on-one, you've been left behind. So you need to make sure you're part of the live. I mean, part of the VIP, so we can get to grow together, make money together, guys, in a simple way. So this max low, max high. Okay, price has taken neutralized liquidity below. Guys, you can see our price neutralized liquidity below this level. This was the main part, the sweep of liquidity. Price had to go come back about, I think this was 50% to 61%. 61%. Exactly 61%, and price pushed up. It never broke the highs, then it played around a little bit, and then it finally broken. So I think it might go a bit up and then start correcting again to go up again. Gold is selling, guys. We projected sales on gold yesterday and still holding now. So yeah, guys, if you're not part of the VIP, this VIP team, you're gonna be left behind because we discuss this on a daily basis. I'll keep updating this pair and see where it goes. Either way, we'll have to work with its development. The thing is, you don't want to impose your thoughts on the market. Let the market guide you. Price is the original director. It takes us where it wants us to go and we follow. But with this strategy, price just follows through nicely. That's why the winning rate is very high. The only stubborn pair, I don't know what this is, what's happening here, but I don't know if maybe we can begin afresh on GBP. begin afresh on GBP and see. 1 month. Guys, I think GBP maybe I underestimated. Maybe this is the last 10. But let's see. GBP. Let's do the trend properly. Maybe there's a problem with the trend. We start with the bottom side, the most established trend, and shift to the upside. Okay, you know, I'm thinking there's still. I took that high, lower high. That has a lower high, Unless guys have got another perspective on this, but and then I'm expecting another lower high. That's why I'm thinking it's still gonna be bullish, but let's see. Let's follow through. Lower low. Another lower low. Okay. Okay, let me see this in another perspective. MT5.
Incoming mail.
GBP. Black and white. It's a nice bearish movement. Let's see. Okay, we missed out on that. Okay, monthly. Okay, MT5. I thought it's gonna give us a bigger, more data so we can see from, but anyway, let's go. Let's carry on. Break of structure. After break of market structure, this gives us, that should be the last, maybe what? Okay, that should be the last. Let's do that. That is more like equal highs. Guys, GBP looks stubborn. We need to put our heads together here. That let's see. Let me consider that. No, I think GBP is bearish for this reason. Okay. Let's look this as a main trend of this guy. Okay, price structure break. The price structure break. I think this is the last peak of this guy. So maybe this trend. So in this case, we can say price was stripping liquidity above the high, above this top high. Let me go. I don't know why I'm speaking buy. I think this was a mistake. Okay. This looks like price has accumulated liquidity there because of the sellers. And this spike went to neutralize liquidity above that high. Price has to close below that at 61%. From that high to that low, there's 61%. After sweeping liquidity, impulse correction, impulse. So this has to come and neutralize this low. We have to expect for price to come even as far as this low. Yeah, okay, but I will observe how this develops. But I think it's most likely ending the bullish correction. Then we will start seeing an impulse similar to this. So I'll just keep an eye on this. Alicia, VIP one-on-one is about $399 for 3 months. Fair value gap, yes, you can use fair value gap if you can spot one. It's very important to use. You can use it if you can spot it. Break of structure, sweep above buy. I think, guys, this was sell. So we give signals, guys, in the VIP. This is the GBP the GBP fell, but Bitcoin bought nicely. This yesterday's GBP is making sense. This is what this sold. So this was, I think, it was wrong. This one is correct for yesterday. This is the area for sale. This area. Yeah. So, guys, I think this is how far I can go for today. Thanks for being part of this live. Thanks for everyone that managed to save their time to tune in. You can, guys, try and be part of my VIP, where we can do analysis anytime. You can request for analysis on any setup you have, and so forth and so on. We're building a team that is strong enough to make a difference. But thank you so much for joining this live. I will keep doing those lives, but I'll be setting alerts whenever I'm about to go live. Today, I think it was too immediate, but I'll try and set the notification maybe early in the morning for tonight or for tomorrow, something like that. So we can all be part of the live, not trying to force yourself when you're driving and trying to be part of the live as well. But otherwise, thank you so much, guys. I'm about to end the live. Peace.